Hi everybody, welcome back to another episode of Across the Lawn. Today I'm here with Scott Nelson, the head athletic trainer here at St. George's and a physical therapist at Apex. So first, Scott, can you tell us about your inspiration to become an athletic trainer?
Yeah, I mean, I grew up playing a lot of sports, and I've always just loved being around athletics. Another thing that kind of just put the two together for me was I just always have enjoyed helping people. And when I was first introduced to it, in college actually, because I didn't have an athletic trainer in high school, it was just one of those places that felt like home. It wasn't work for me. It was just a lot of fun, and I enjoyed going every day. And then after that, I wanted to kind of continue my education and my ability to help people. So I became a doctor of physical therapy, which has just allowed me to do more with my roles and responsibilities in helping athletes.
Yeah. Can you tell us about some of the teams you've worked with?
Yeah, so I've worked with a Division I men's volleyball program as well as a Division I men's football program. And then I had an interesting job that was kind of not your traditional program or a traditional sport or job with athletic training, but I worked with a company actually just helping to try and keep the people that work there healthy because they had an active job, and my job was to keep them from having to go home or get surgeries. And then after that, I've been here ever since then for 5 or 6 years now.
Yeah. Can you tell us about the roles and responsibilities of a trainer?
Yeah, I think that there's 3 main roles, really. The first one is a big preventative role, and this is where I spend most of my time. Our job is to try and help keep athletes healthy and, non-injured or being able to play. And then our second one is the rehabilitative role, and that's where if someone unfortunately does get injured or isn't able to play or participate, my job is to help them get back as quickly as possible. And the third one is the emergency management. This is one we always hope we don't have to do, but we're trained to try and respond as quickly and as best as we can with those emergency situations. In athletics, sports, there's always a risk for something seriously happening, and so we're also trained in making sure that the proper emergency response happens.
Yeah, and then how important is preventative care in your work?
Yeah, like I said, this is where we spend most of our time, and it's where I have really dedicated a lot of my time here at St. George's, is to try and help the kids, help the athletes that are now, in today's day and age with athletics at all levels, from lowest to the professional. People are just playing more, and here at this school, the awesome thing about the school is a lot of our athletes, they play multiple sports. What that means is that, unfortunately, they get very little time to rest. And so my job and one of my passions is to help these kids be able to prolong their participation and their ability to play throughout the entire year or throughout the entire season, over the whole course of their career here. So really, preventative care is where I spend most of my time. And it used to be that used to always traditionally kind of look like taping and things like that, stretches or things like that. But now the role is becoming much more progressive as well as inclusive with other things that pertain to the wellness, health and wellness of the kids. So I spend a lot of time now working with the strength and conditioning, and as well as nutrition and sleep, and even the psychology aspect a little bit there too. So I have my hand in a little bit of everything, or I try to at least, because so much of that goes into keeping these athletes capable and able to play. And so prevention is where I would say is the star of the show for my job, but unfortunately, there's other aspects we have to be prepared for, but prevention is where we really focus so much on with athletic training.
Yeah, and how do you work with parents, coaches, and healthcare when an athlete gets injured?
Yeah, that's a great question. So with the coaches, when there is an injury, when there's an athlete that's injured, I'm really working with the coaches to make sure that we set goals and have a clear communication about how we're going to get them back. And this is really it's about making sure that they get back safely, that they do get back quickly, but that we're on the same page, really, so that the athlete is protected and well taken care of. Parents is great. I love working with the parents. A lot of times I see my role with the parents as an avenue, as a resource for questions, for maybe guiding them in the right direction to either seek certain healthcare providers or individuals, imaging, whatever that might look like. But I'm always there as a resource to the parents to help them kind of understand, what does the injury mean, what does it look like for them, what's the outcome, what's the prognosis. And then other healthcare providers, my role as the athletic trainer here is just to make sure that any type of mandates or protocols that are given, depending on the injury or the athlete, are followed and respected. And that, again, just for the healthcare, the safety of that athlete, making sure that they get back the best way possible, and that no corners are cut, and everybody feels safe and comfortable with the process.
Yeah. And how do you balance pushing athletes to get back into play while also managing long-term health?
Yeah, that is the trickiest part. That is a very tricky part about my job, but it's a puzzle. And I think as I was thinking, as I was thinking about this, I take each. It has to be individually based, and there's so much that goes into pushing someone as well as protecting them. And I think the biggest thing that I will start with is actually looking at the mindset, the psychology of the person. And everybody's built so different, and everybody has different goals. And so when I'm trying to balance that, I really want to get a good understanding of where their mind's at, because the mind is so powerful with protecting them as they get back, and their ability to perform as well. So if they don't have a good mindset, I'm going to err a little bit more on the side of caution and make sure that they're in a good state of being to where they can perform and protect themselves. Because if they have doubt, or if they have any type of inconsistency with where they feel like they should be and where they are, they're actually at higher risk. And at the same time, I'm there not as a professional psychologist, but as someone to kind of help guide them with the coaches, to help them see, if they're able to, push themselves a little bit. And that's what the rehab part of things are, and making sure that I can show them as we do things together that, yeah, they are capable and they're ready to go. So it's really an individual basis. It's a puzzle depending on the person, but it's also fun. Sometimes it's a lot of fun to balance and try to help these kids see the potential that they have.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for your time, Scott. We greatly appreciate it.
Thank you.
My name's Colin Brennan, and thank you for joining us on another episode of Across the Lawn.